Begin the biased face edge by having your fabric and a piece of single fold bias tape. You can either pin the bias tape right sides together to one of the edges of your fabric, or you can simply just start sewing in the ditch or where one of the press lines is on the fabric. Make sure that you're lining up the raw edge of the fabric with the raw edge of the bias tape. Begin with a back stitch and continue to straight stitch all the way down. You also want to make sure that you're catching the fabric, so if you have a frayed edge, you can scooch the fabric just a little bit down. Once you get to the bottom of your sample, you will end with a back stitch and then be sure to clip the threads at the beginning and the end of your sample. Now head on over to the iron, and with the right side up, you are going to press the bias tape, keeping that fold intact so that it is smooth between the stitch line and the bias tape. Now you'll flip this over and you can either tuck in the frayed edge underneath the bias tape, or you can simply fold it down. We want to fold it enough so that there's about a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch of the outside fabric showing so that the bias tape does not peekaboo out. This is a great way to finish the edges of necklines and armholes. After you've pressed the fabric and you have that little bit of the outside fabric showing, you're going to head back over to your sewing machine and you're going to use the edge foot if you have one. Clip off or remove the foot, put on your edge foot, and then you're going to move the needle position over to the right side of the machine. I like to do this either all the way over to the right or one tick left of the full right. What this does is it makes it so that I can sew really close to the edge of the bias tape, and that way there isn't a lip sticking out of the bias tape that might cause aggravation on the wearer of whatever you are making. Begin with a back stitch, straight stitch, and then once you get to the end, you're going to end with a back stitch. After you've completed this sample, clip your threads, press the bias tape and the outer fabric flat, and you've now finished your faced bias tape edge.